All right, so onward. Watch the following video of how to determine an earthquake's Richter magnitude to help you respond to questions 8 through 10 in this document, which correspond to questions 9 through 11 on Blackboard quiz. So that link should be working just fine once you actually skip the ads. There you go. That's what it should look like. Should be fine. So watch that in order to answer those questions 8 through 10 on the document. Okay. Onward. So I'm going to skip through those. It should be pretty straightforward of how to answer these, I think. Okay, question 11. So using figure 0.2, which is the seismograms one, if I'm not wrong. Yep, so figure 0.2. Fill in the amplitudes of the S waves for the 3 seismographs that you have, or the 3 seismograms that you have. And you'll do that here. So you have this information already, the epicentral distance. You calculated it on table 0.2, so you'll have these numbers. And now you have to use that figure 0.2, in order to calculate the S waves amplitude. So I'm going to help you again with the first one, show you how to do it. It's pretty straightforward, especially using figure 0.1 as reference. So figure 0.1 is right here. You see that the amplitude is the measure from the 0 millimeter mark up until the highest peak of that second wave arrival location. So in this case, the amplitude is, what is that, 180, it looks like. We're going to do the same thing for ours using our figure right here. So I'll help you with that one first. And then you'll do the other two. So here's our graph. Here's our location of Hawaii. Here are the millimeters that you should use in order to find the amplitudes. So we want the one of Hawaii, so somewhere along this scale. So the highest peak for that second wave is right this one. And so that's where it falls pretty much. And we see that here below the big tick mark is 10 and this one is 20. So this middle one is 15. So that is at about 14 millimeters. So 14 millimeters is the amplitude for the S wave for the seismogram located in Honolulu, Hawaii. So that's what you would fill in your table right here. So you do the same thing for the Alaska and the Chile locations, and you answer question 11 that way. Question 12. What do you notice about the relationship between the distance from the epicenter and the maximum amplitude of the S wave? So you may notice that there is a correlation between S wave amplitude and epicenter distance. You may notice that there's an inverse correlation, or you may notice that there's no correlation whatsoever for this particular earthquake. However, based on the reading that you have done and on the lecture watching that you have done, there should be one of the answers of the quiz that is more likely than others, okay? So I'll let you think about that. Okay, question 13. Using the information you obtained in question 11, so this one right here, and using the video you watched above, so the how to find the Richter magnitude, fill in figure 0.5. So this one right here, you're going to fill that in using, again, the video and using the amplitudes that you obtained. So you're going to fill it in with the respective distances and S wave amplitudes to determine the magnitude of the earthquake perceived at each location. Okay, so that's the perceived magnitude. Okay, so I'm going to help you again with the first one. So we know, first of all, that this is going to be what? These are all kind of high numbers. So it's going to be the distance in kilometers. And this right here is going to be the, hopefully you know, the amplitude in millimeters, right? So, and you would know that if you watch the magnitude or how to find the magnitude video. So we have amplitude here, we have distance here, we have both of those numbers for the Hawaii location. So we know that the distance from the epicenter in Hawaii was 2,400. So somewhere, this is 3,000, right? This is 4,000, 2,000, so 3,000 should be here, 2,400 should be here. And then we know that the amplitude for the S wave was 14 millimeters, so somewhere around here. We can connect those two and see what the perceived magnitude for that earthquake was. So let's do that. So again, we know that the epicenter distance was 2400, so around there, and that the amplitude of the S wave was about 14, so around here. So based on that, this location where it intersects this line right here, this plot, would say that the perceived magnitude of that earthquake at Hawaii was about 7.6, 7.7 perhaps, in magnitude. So Hawaii would have had a magnitude of 7.6 or 7.7 perceived magnitude for that earthquake. All right, so again, you will do the same thing for the Alaska and the Chile locations based on those measurements of distance and of amplitude magnitudes. Cool. So then you will answer, what is the magnitude range of this earthquake based on the 3 recording stations' perceived magnitudes? So usually, because they are perceived magnitudes, they're not completely exact based on the numbers we got, and also perhaps because we made some mistake. You're not going to get all 3 earthquake locations or recording locations to match exactly. So you might have that, sure, Hawaii went through here in 7.6, but perhaps one of the other 2 goes through 5 or through 9. And so you're going to get some sort of range, some magnitude range. So that's what I want you to give me for that answer. All right. And then the last 2 questions are based on reading that you will do. So 14, use this website, the USGS Richter, to answer the question, is the Richter scale a linear scale? And why is this? So you'll click on that link, should be fine, working. So there you go. And then you will do the other link, the website here of USGS also. And this is based on the Mercalli, modified Mercalli intensity scale to answer the following question. So based on the perception by those affected from this earthquake, the intensity of this earthquake was reported as an average of intensity of 6. What does that say about the amount of damage and description given by the affected people? So if you click on that link, you will find a description of the modified Mercalli intensity scale, as well as the different description or damage that was made depending on the number of the intensity. So you'll be able to tell me the answer based on that. All right. So with that, that is all the questions that we have for this lab. Again, here at the bottom you have the map where you're supposed to do the triangulation for question 7. If you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to ask me. I'm happy to help in whichever way I can. If you want to talk to me directly, I'm happy to also schedule a meeting through Blackboard Collaborate, and we can talk about those problems or those questions that you may have. As always, have a good week, and best of luck.